the Digiwaxx. Digiwaxx.
Oh, thank you. So, first of all, thank you for doing this, man.
Not a
I
problem, bro.
appreciate, you doing it. At the end of the day, we go back. I think we met during Cornerstone. No, I want to say before that, man. I want to say I was working for Mariah Carey at Crave. And I remember I had a group called Negro League, and this is
You know
yeah.
what? I just heard that freestyle a couple of days ago.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I remember you was like, "Yeah, I'm doing a mixtape for Japan." I was like, "Damn,
Yeah.
Cats is doing mixtapes for Japan." I was blown away by that whole thing.
Yeah, no, I did a hip hop album in France.
Okay, that's what it was.
And we had the boys jump on there.
That's right. And I was working at Crave, and I remember I went to the studio. You made all of that happen. But
and then we had 50 Cent down with the whole thing too.
Right. So wait, now were you doing a midnight run back then? Because I was telling Nav, I was like, I remember, I said, I ain't gonna front, man. This dude was doing 4 hours straight.
Yeah.
Hard on Hot 97. I'm talking about that. And then it varied. I was like, it wasn't just like one genre of music. The shit was entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, I would sit there and be like, this shit is amazing. Underground hip hop.
That's how radio could sound if program directors weren't afraid to let their guys let loose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
But
where competition comes in the marketplace, and then we have to, play by the rules, and so the creativity starts to slow down a little bit.
So is that the future though? Because everybody's sort of like,
no one's willing to take a chance on it. Like they want proof. Even you guys at the label, right? You guys are like, no, our songs are Shazamming. They're number top 5. So if they're Shazamming top 5, why aren't you playing our records on the radio?
Yeah, I don't know if that's the best barometer, to be honest.
No, I know. You're absolutely right. To me, it was always gut instinct, but gut instinct isn't proven either.
So is that how you pretty much, decide a hit? It starts with the gut. It starts from inside.
I think I play the game good, and I do a little bit of both. I do what makes me happy, and I do what makes my boss happy.
No. Listen, man, it's so crazy. I was just telling Nav, I work from the bed like maybe till 11 o'clock every day now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different world. It's a different world, man. Couldn't do that shit before. Now I'm like, fuck that. I'm in the bed texting people, acting like.
Me too. I tried. Honestly, there was the other day. I think Monday. I was in the bed till about 1:15 in the afternoon. I said, I'm gonna try to get as much sleep as possible before I get up.
I ain't mad at that. I am not mad at that, man.
Yeah, but all our patterns are broken. Like I'm up to 2, 3 in the morning. Yeah. We're not doing clubs, but we're up on people's lives, just searching and viewing and looking. Or if not, I'm on some hunt for the best documentary or whatever TV shows I missed up during the week trying to play catch up.
So it's like a level up time. I feel like, everybody gets a chance to like level up, like, whether it's your person, like I cleaned up the house. Yeah. I've been organizing on that level. Yeah, I've seen some good documentaries.
Right now, clean the house up.
Yeah, that was like the first level up. I was like, you know what? I'm living crazy right now. Because when you realize you had to stay home, the first thing I was like, shit, man, I got to get organized.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've been doing lives. I saw you on live the other day.
Yeah, I did a couple here and there.
Okay, good.
My problem is I don't promote them properly. I just do them when I feel like doing them, as opposed to setting a date and a time and actually executing it.
Okay. So that's what you need to do.
I need to fix that.
But you got a team, so that's going to happen.
Yeah.
How do guys that don't have a team even get to that level? You know what I mean? Those are the.
Got to be consistent. They got to be their own team.
Got to be their own. Damn. Knowledge. There goes a jewel right there. Building your team. All right, so let's get to the origins.
Let's go. What do you need to know? Tell me.
Well, let's start off from the beginning, man.
Okay.
How'd you start? What's your origin story? Where you from? Because I know you. Obviously, a lot of New York knows you.
All right, just so you know, I'm from the Lower East Side of Brooklyn. Both my parents are from Puerto Rico, and they both met in the Lower East Side. So initially, even though I claimed Brooklyn, I would have to claim the Lower East Side because that's where my parents met, and I was born and raised kind of like in Manhattan.
Okay,
So I
that's real
grew up
talk.
in the projects of the Lower East Side. I lived in 60th Avenue D in Alphabet City, and I fell in love with music. Uh, there was a time I had went on an afternoon walk. It was with my mom somewhere, and I think we were by Lincoln Center.
Mm.
And right outside of Lincoln Center, there was like an ill battle going on, I think with Rocksteady Crew and somebody. And I got to see like Crazy Legs and some of the guys DJing and breaking and doing their thing. And I fell in love with this hip hop thing then, seeing it firsthand. It blew my mind. I didn't understand what the hell was going on. But it was a crowd of people, and it was music, and it sounded funky, and I wanted to be a part of it.
Mm.
And I didn't have the time to really watch it. My mom was like, let's go.
Right.
But later on, I would figure out that's what it was, hip hop, b-boying, breaking, and all that kind of stuff. And I fell in love with music, I think, through the radio first, because when you're a young child growing up, you're not allowed outside, even though you hear it outside at the jam park, at the parks, and at the outside, block parties and things like that nature. But it was at home, listening to it on headphones, because it was late at night when I got to venture and listen to hip hop. So I would listen to my favorite radio station back in the days, which was WHBI.
Mm.
And they would like play like the world famous Supreme Team show, or they would play like the Zulu Beats show with Africa Islam.
Dope.
And with those shows is what made me fall in love with hip hop. Made me fall in love with Public Enemy and DJs like Dr. Dre and DJ Riz, and hearing all these incredible DJs on the radio.
Dope. So now, as you were falling in love with hip hop,
Mm-hmm.
and you first started to get into the art of DJing,
Mm-hmm.
how did it start for you? Like, was it something where you were at home and you had equipment and you practiced there? Did you go to somebody else's house? Was there a certain gig that somebody gave you opportunity to get onto? Like, how did you?
Well, when I first got introduced to DJing, it was at a hookie party that my boy used to throw.
Hookie party.
Yeah, hookie party during the week while school was in session. We would cut out of school, and he lived in Flatbush, Brooklyn. His name was Larry, and he was cutting up Good Times by Chic. And he said, "Yo, try it, man. Come on, this is how you do it." Blah 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 blah. And I tried it a few times, without really knowing what I was doing. And I caught it like 2-3 times, and he was like, "Yo, you're a natural, man. You're incredible." So I think that was the birth of me touching the turntables during a hookie party back in
Wow.
the days. You know what I'm
This
saying?
is why, and this is why I love these interviews, because nobody gonna know that. That's crazy. So Larry put you on.
Yeah, my man Larry. Yeah.
And then you saved up, got your own turntables.
Yeah, that was the ill part. Waiting almost 2-3 years to save enough money up just to get a couple of turntables.
What was your first rig like?
My first set, I got something for Christmas. My dad got me like this upright turntable console with the EQ on it and the tape decks. And it was cool because it was my own thing, but it wasn't turntables that I could hook up individually to get busy with. Nice. So I was kind of like a little bummed out a little bit.
All right, so you didn't get what you wanted, but you eventually saved up.
Yeah, I got one pair in 1985. I got my first Technics 1200s.
Wow.
My first one. I didn't even get two. I got one. I remember the price was anywhere between $450 and $500 back in the days.
And that was like maybe equivalent of $2,000 today.
Like, of course. Like, who has money? Yeah, Mom, give me $500. I'm gonna go buy a turntable. She's like,
pow, punch you in your eye.
You kidding me?
Exactly. That's real talk. That's what's up, man. So boom, you got the one turntable. You start to spin. Your first. How did it start? Was it like? Did you get what was like your first gig? I should say, like, and it could be like I remember.
Nah, it's not till later on, but anyway, I get my DJ equipment. I hook it up. I start putting it together. There was a guy who was very instrumental in my DJ career at the time. He's not super famous, but he was part of a group called ESP, and they were signed to Select Records back in the 80s.
Mm.
These guys were based out of Flatbush, Brooklyn Avenue. The DJ was named Professor Paul. Professor Paul would hang and be around the likes of Hitman Howie T, DJ Clark Kent, Majesty, and a few others. You know what I'm saying? From Flatbush Supreme.
So yeah, you were talking about Flatbush. You were talking about how you got your chops.
Yeah.
Wait. So before you keep going, explain to people what are chops, because you using language that
chops is like when a DJ goes like I was catching "I Need a Beat" by Cool J, so catch the I only, the I need the beat. Those are chops.
Those are chops. Dope.
Yeah, like that.
So yeah,
Professor Paul helped me with that from Brooklyn.
Professor Paul. Shout out to Professor Paul.
Professor Paul.
Shout out to Hitman Howie T. When you said that name, it made me think Chuck.
Messed you up, right? Hitman Howie T. Yeah, exactly.
Howie T. My uncles are from Flatbush, so my grandfather, the house is in Beverly Road, so
yeah, so you know what time it is, yeah.
Yeah, so I remember, those were the big guys in Search, and I mean, really, they were tight with Pete more than even Search, but regardless, yeah, man. So we were getting to the point where you got your first gig. That's, your breakthrough. The first time you had to show out.
This is how it started. So I had these guys around my neighborhood called the Love Brothers. Mm-hmm. It was Eric, Jose, and David Delgado. They lived on Avenue J in Brooklyn, and these guys were like promoters, and they were doing parties, right? And they, they've been around for years doing things. And this kid named Miguel, who was down with them, but he had his own organization called M Series because he was more of a designer. So like he would like make clothes for Heavy D and Puffy and Teddy Riley and people like that. Mm-hmm. That was his thing. But before Miguel was famous with the clothes, he was a famous IOU dancer. So if you remember anything about the IOU dances used to dance for Red Alert at Union Square back in the days, doing all these hip hop dances. And they would be in like Salt and Pepper's videos, and they would be in a bunch of other, hip hop videos back in the days. Mm-hmm. So, this is like hip hop connection 101.
Yeah.
So one of the promoters comes to my house and asks me to DJ. And I DJ and I do this ill blend with, I think After 7 and Sucker MCs or something like that. And he fell in love with the mix and was like, yo, you gotta do that at the party. And I was like, all right, cool, whatever. So he brings me to my first gig and he's like, I'm gonna hire you to do a party at a place called Club in the Grill, which was like an African spot in Times Square. It was on 46th Street, I believe, between Broadway and 6th Avenue, if I'm not mistaken. It was called Club in the Grill. And across the street was the California Club. All right. Anyway, so we do a hip hop party on Sunday nights. First night, nobody's there. Second night, nobody's there. Second week. Third week, nobody's there. Now it's breaking my heart. I get my opportunity to DJ.
And nobody's showing up.
They telling me I'm gonna get like $300 a night to DJ. I'm over here like, what? $300 to DJ?
Still going. Nothing outlasts Digiwaxx. They keep going and going